Hello, everyone, and welcome to our monthly Health and Wellness Insight series. Each month, we bring you the latest and most practical industry trends and innovations in the world of supplements and functional health. If you're interested in exploring more health market insights, feel free to visit our information hub. And if you're looking for ODM or OEM partnership opportunities, we'd love to connect and collaborate on creating more valuable products and market breakthroughs. Now, let's join our two hosts and dive into this month's topic.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into a concept that I think really redefines what it means to be healthy. For so long, we focused on, the absence of illness. If you weren't actively sick, you were considered fine.
Right, that was the old standard.
But the demands of modern life, the stress, the environment, new pathogens, it feels like that's all changed the game.
It absolutely has. That old standard is, it's obsolete. True health today isn't just about avoiding infection.
It's about how you bounce back.
Exactly. It's defined by your capacity to withstand all these challenges and, bounce back quickly when you do hit a wall.
Yeah.
We call this immune resilience.
Immune resilience. So that ability to recover fast from fatigue or a virus without completely breaking down, that's our mission today.
It is.
We're taking a deep dive into the body's defense system to find that single, often overlooked starting point for building that daily resilience.
And it requires a fundamental shift in our thinking. We have to move immune support from this seasonal reactive thing.
Like taking something when you feel a cold coming on.
Precisely.
Yeah.
From that to a daily foundational essential. Because the pressures we're facing now, they're constant.
Let's unpack those pressures for a second. It's more than just a tough job or, pollution, isn't it?
Oh, much more. We're talking about factors that are actively kind of weakening the infrastructure of our defense system.
How so?
Well, for one, we're living longer, which naturally challenges the system's energy. But beyond that, we've seen the long-term after effects of serious infections.
You mean things like long COVID?
That, or even just a really bad seasonal flu. These things don't always just clear up. They can weaken what we call immune memory. They slow down your detection systems.
So the system is slower to mobilize, which means even a minor bug can suddenly become this huge deal.
The body's flying blind for those first crucial hours or days. And that vulnerability, that's why the stakes are so high right now.
And this isn't some niche wellness trend anymore.
Not at all. You can literally see the collective focus shifting just by looking at the financial markets.
Yeah.
It's really telling.
The numbers are pretty stark. The global immunology market, it was valued at just under $100 billion in 2023, which is already huge.
It is. But here's the projection that shows the urgency. That market is expected to surpass $257 billion by 2032.
Wow.
It's growing at an annualized rate of over 12%. People, institutions, they're pouring money into solutions to prevent systemic breakdowns, not just to treat symptoms.
Over $250 billion, all focused on managing the consequences of immune failure. That tells you how seriously this is being taken.
It does.
So if we agree the stakes are that high, maybe we should stop focusing on the treatment for a minute and start with the actual hardware we're trying to protect.
Let's do it. Let's go inside.
Yeah.
If you picture your immune system, the first thing is, don't think of it as one single thing.
Okay.
Think of it as an elite, highly coordinated defense force. It's constantly on alert, constantly scanning and adapting.
So how is this force structured? What are its different units?
It basically breaks down into two main branches, and they work together. First, you have your innate immunity,
The front line.
the immediate frontline defense, your rapid response team. It's non-specific, which means it just attacks anything foreign right away. No ID check needed.
Like the security guards who rush in the second an alarm goes off. What does that actually look like, cell-wise, in our bodies?
Well, it involves a few cell types, but the real heavy lifters are the phagocytes. They're essentially the cleanup crew. They literally engulf and destroy pathogens.
And the others?
And the natural killer cells, or NK cells. They are critical. They're the immediate executioners, identifying and destroying our own compromised cells, like virus-infected ones, on the spot.
So speed and brute force.
Yeah.
That handles the immediate threat. But the system is famous for learning, right? That's the other branch.
That is the adaptive immunity. I like to call it the specialized memory squad. This system takes a bit more time to learn. But once it identifies a specific threat, it creates a highly targeted, precise defense, often for life.
What makes it so precise?
It produces antibodies. These are custom-made defense proteins. We hear the names all the time. IgA, IgM, IgG.
Right. They're not just random acronyms.
Not at all. They have very specific jobs. IgA, for instance, you find that mostly in your mucosal membranes. It guards the entry points, like your lungs and your gut.
So IgA is like the checkpoint security at the door?
Exactly that. Whereas IgG is your long-term memory archive. It's circulating in your blood, ready to go if it sees a familiar threat, even decades later. It makes sure the defense is smarter and faster the next time.
It sounds incredibly complex. All these different units have to work together perfectly. How do the phagocytes know when to clean up? Or the T cells know when to fire? What's the command structure?
The command structure is all about communication. It's a network, and it relies entirely on signaling molecules called cytokines.
The radios on the battlefield.
That's a perfect analogy. They're the radios directing every unit. When an immune cell spots a threat, it releases specific cytokines to send messages, manage resources, and coordinate the whole response.
You mentioned specific types like IL-2 and IFN-gamma. Why should we care about those specific molecules?
Because they show you just how precise this all has to be for resilience. If the signaling is clear, the response is strong. IL-2, for example, it tells your T cells, the central controllers, to grow and multiply fast to fight an infection.
And IFN-gamma?
Interferon gamma, or IFN gamma, that's crucial for an antiviral response. It basically shouts to all the nearby cells to activate their internal defenses. If those signals are weak or garbled, the whole system falters.
So it's this amazing interconnected system, but we're still missing the first step, the trigger. If it's all a network of defenders, where's the headquarters? Where does that very first alarm bell ring?
This is the deep dive insight, and it's so critical for understanding resilience. To start any defense, the body relies on its signal receptors.
The mucosal immune barriers.
Yes. In the nose, lungs, urinary tract.
Yeah.
But the most dominant command center, the one that holds the key to all of this, is the gut.
Why the gut? Why is it so much more important than the other entry points?
It's just sheer numbers. The concentration of the defense force there it's staggering. We're talking about the body's largest single collection of immune cells.
Okay, what's the number?
The critical fact is this. A remarkable 70% of the body's entire immune system resides in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or called the
70%.
70%. It makes the gastrointestinal tract, hands down,
Yeah.
the central command center, the most important immune hub in the body.
That is staggering. So the gut isn't just a digestion system. It's primarily an immune surveillance machine.
That's the paradigm shift. The gut's mucosal layers, they act like the main radar station.
Yeah.
They're designed to screen everything that comes in, to take pathogens, and send out those cytokine crisis signals to mobilize everyone.
The NK cells, the phagocytes.
And those targeted IgA antibodies we were just talking about. The whole team gets the call.
So if the gut is healthy, communication is clear, the defense launches instantly. What happens if that radar station is compromised?
Well, if the gut barrier is damaged, or the microbial balance gets thrown off, which happens all the time from stress, diet, medications, it's functionally catastrophic for resilience.
It's like cutting off communications at the command center.
Exactly. The invader slips through, maybe unnoticed.
Or the signal is too weak.
Too weak, exactly.
Yeah.
And those specific IgA guards we need right at the entry point, they're not there in sufficient numbers. The whole system fails to launch effectively, and your ability to bounce back, your resilience, it just crumbles.
And is that why people can feel so fatigued for so long after being sick?
It's a huge part of it. The system never got that clean, strong signal it needed to finish the job and clean up the mess properly.
So the path to real, sustained immune resilience isn't waiting for a threat and then reacting. It's proactively strengthening that gut foundation every single day.
That is the only sustainable strategy. Proactive care has to start with that 70% command center. It's about strengthening receptor function, fortifying those frontline defenses.
And making sure key cellular processes are running at peak efficiency. You mentioned activating phagocytosis daily. That sounds complex, but can you break that down?
Think of phagocytosis as the routine, daily garbage collection for your body. It's a fundamental process where specialized cells literally go around and engulf cellular debris, waste products, dead pathogens.
And why daily?
Because modern life generates so much physiological junk. If that debris isn't cleared out quickly, it leads to systemic inflammation.
Which is the definition of a stressed-out immune system.
Exactly. So by boosting phagocytosis, we're helping the system clear the battlefield faster. It means less chronic, low-level inflammation. We lighten the load.
So the system is prepared without having to fight a constant battle against its own its own waste products.
Precisely. And we also need to focus on receptor function, making sure that mucosal lining is robust so it can effectively tell the difference between a nutrient and a harmful pathogen. That keeps the alarm signals precise.
That really feels like the true essence of resilience.
Yeah.
Fortify the command center, keep the radio communications clear with those cytokines, and make sure the whole defense team is sharp and ready to move instantly.
The goal is constant, quiet readiness. You're not waiting for a vulnerability to show up. You are operating from a foundation of strength. And that daily practice, centered on the gut, is really the only way to meet the demands of the modern world.
That's a powerful distinction. Immune resilience doesn't start with the first cold of the season or a stressful deadline. It starts every single morning in your gut.
The home of 70% of your entire immune force.
Yeah.
And, here's a final thought for you to take away, and it ties right back to those market numbers. We talked about that massive explosion in the immunology market. A lot of that growth, that $250 billion projection, is driven by incredibly complex, expensive therapies like monoclonal antibodies. And that, in turn, is fueled by the steep, really frightening rise in autoimmune conditions. We're talking an estimated 50 million people in the U.S. alone.
Right.
So if the world is spending hundreds of billions on advanced treatments to manage the consequences of immune system communication breakdowns, how much proactive, daily, foundational attention should you be dedicating to your gut health to make sure those communication failures don't happen in the first place?
Thank you to our two hosts for their insightful discussion. That wraps up this episode of our Knowledge series. If you have any thoughts on today's topic or want to explore more about the health supplement market and product trends, feel free to visit our info hub or reach out to us directly through our website. And if you're looking for ODM or OEM collaboration, we warmly invite you to partner with us to create impactful next-generation wellness products. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to connecting with you again next time.